Hi, everyone. Um, my name is Sideba Tochukwu Emmanuel. I'm one of the graduate peer mentor here at the University of Lethbridge. And so this is one of the third sessions in the series, and this is tuition and funding. So, so today's session will be filled with a lot of information concerning funding and as well tuition. So please grab a pen, grab a paper, notepad, whatever you can grab. And I think this session is recorded and it will be uploaded later. You can come back to it, watch again and again if you're missing anything. And at the end of the session, I will be providing my own personal email address as that of the graduate peer mentor. Um, so this session will be divided into three: tuition, funding, and Q&A. So Michael will be taking the tuition, helping you understand all important deadlines, where to pay your tuition, and if you're an international student outside of Canada, there's a platform where you can actually pay. And we are lucky to also have our own graduate funding facilitator here in person of Dedra to give us the information regarding funding. So please, just as I said before, get your paper and your pen. There's a lot of information here. And also at the end of the session, I will be sharing my own personal experience regarding funding because coming to the University of Lethbridge, I got the University of Lethbridge Graduate Research Award, and there are some things I looked out. I looked. I took note of during my application process that I would love to share. So I will share that during the Q&A session. Okay, and welcome to University of Lethbridge. Our university's Blackfoot name is Iniskim, meaning Sacred Buffalo Stone. The university is located in the traditional Blackfoot Confederacy territory. We honor the Blackfoot people and their traditional ways of knowing and caring for this land, as well as all Aboriginal peoples who have helped shape and continue to strengthen our university. So just as I said earlier, it's this session will be divided into tuition, funding, and Q&A. So, but I don't know if Micah is here, but I think we're going to move to funding first before tuition. So, Deirdre, you have the platform now. I'll stop share.
Fantastic. Thanks, Emmanuel. Um, just to start out, I'm curious, do we know, or maybe with a show of hands, how many, or not show of hands, but in the bottom of your Zoom, there's the reactions. And if you click on that, there's like the thumbs up, or let's do the green check. There's a green check there. How many folks here are PhD? One, two, okay. Two PhDs, perfect. And the rest, I'm assuming, are masters by elimination. Um, that's great. So I will be covering both anyways because this is recorded and we want to make sure the information is out there. There's not a lot of difference, but there are some opportunities that are open to PhD students that may not be available for master students just yet. So I just want to make sure I covered everything for our people. I'm going to share my screen, and this is more of a I'm going to walk you through where you could find your resources, and then along the way, I'll point out some important things for you. But really, I want to empower everyone to know where to find the material that you're looking for or how to find funding to apply for. Once we find an opportunity that you wish to apply for that's, let's say, external, so let's say it's natural sciences and engineering, tri-council agency, or social sciences, or anything like that. So anything that has to go to an outside agency, um, we could go over some of the details there along the way, a little bit of the details. But really, what's important is to know that my office is here to help you. So let's say you find an opportunity and you're still unsure, or you've drafted a scholarship application, then we are here to help you. We'll answer any questions. Is this correct? Can you edit it? Yes, I can help edit it. That's what we're here. I'm here to make sure that you are gaining the knowledge on how to write a successful application for funding, um, and hopefully hope you get the funding in the end. And then once you receive the funding, I'm here to help set it up and make the payments for you and make sure everything is running smoothly for everybody. Okay. It's kind of a general overcap. I do the internal funding as well. So hopefully all of you have done the internal scholarship application that you find through the bridge. And I'll go through that on the website as well. And that's for all the funds that we receive from like donors or institutional funds that we're giving away as awards. So it's kind of like the two sides of graduate funding. It's very different than undergrad in the sense that it's not just all the money is held by the university. There are external opportunities for you. So it's not all one application and done for the rest of your program. It is something that is ongoing throughout your program. And then if you're going to continue on down the world of academia into the PhD or postdoc from the PhD, or even if you end up at a nonprofit, these are all skills that you're going to have to want, need, and develop all through your career. Okay. So I will, and I am fine with throwing up your hand or just go ahead and unmute and ask your question along the way. If I'm missing something or skip something or you have an additional question, I'm fine with the interruptions. Okay. Perfect. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to just take you back to the basic website. This is the School of Graduate Studies, where you want to go to the funding and fees tab. There's lots of other information on here, but I'm not concerned with that right now. So funding and fees, and then there's a whole bunch of drop downs here that I'll quickly go through. First and foremost, up at the top is the inquiries form. So many people will not remember how to spell my name because it is a tricky name. However, we do have a nice and tidy email address, sgs.awards@uleth.ca, and I'll put that in the chat later. Or if you are not even cluing into that in the brainstorm of the moment, the inquiries form will bring you to me. It comes to the SGS Awards email address, so we'll be able to get you there. Okay. The nice thing with the form is it kind of gives me, especially for our brand new students, a lot of information at the beginning, so I know how best to answer your question without having to ask for clarification emails following your initial email. Okay. The next part, I'll skip down to tuition and fees, which you're going to have a whole presentation on that anyways. But there's just some general information here. We try and pull it together so it's one-stop shopping for you, or at least gets you pointed in the right direction. There's some funding tips. This is a bit of a living document. It is an overview of what you'll hear me say if you've ever been at one of my presentations or soon to be at one of my presentations. Have a look. And again, it's just quick tips just to get you thinking ahead along your journey of finding funding. One of our more important sites is our FAQ page. I would hope that everybody knows about this once they are in their program. It has a lot of quick questions and quick answers. So on any of these, like, how do I find out about funding opportunities? And it drops down to have some more information for you or links. For instance, one of our most common questions, can I access the excess money that's on my student account? It gives you instructions on how to do that. Okay. Or how do you pay your tuition or graduate assistantships, and some variety of other quick questions. So if you have what you think is a easy to answer question, have a look. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not, but at least it gives you the power to look up an answer right away if you're the early bird morning person at 5 a.m. or a late owl like it's 1 a.m. You might find the answer without having to wait for one of us, which is key, really. We have a funding checklist. So how to set up your payroll, how to determine your tuition and fees, those sorts of questions and answers. Then I'm going to go back to the awards opportunity. This is a database where it's not It doesn't have like every opportunity in the world, but it has the key ones that are either internal, so our donor funds, or external that I know is pertinent to our graduate population. It is searchable by keyword. It is searchable by full-time, part-time, depending on what your status is. Award type, internal, external. So again, internal is anything where the money comes to the university. External is where there's an outside agency. They have their own application, their own deadlines, their own everything. Okay. Your citizenship, if that's pertinent to the opportunity, as well, you could also fine tune it by what program you're in. Okay, and you could use a multiple of those if you want, or one of them, or none of them, whatever you like. I do suggest trying to use some of the filters because it will bring this long list, which is quite daunting, down to something that is a little bit more user friendly, not as intimidating. The biggest key is when you are at your program and you're just into this world of funding your graduate um, life is yes, the list seems long and daunting at the beginning. I don't know where to start. Start here, have a look. Even if it's a long list, you only have to go through this long entire list once, maybe twice. After that, you get a sense of what you're looking for. If it's an external agency and the deadline hasn't been updated for 2025, 2026, but you know that's an award I want to apply for, just keep searching for that one award. You don't have to go through each and every entry. Okay. So it becomes less daunting, more focused if you make this a habit of looking for your funding opportunities. Um, some of the major ones I will point out quickly right now are the Tri-Council Awards. So if you are not familiar with Tri-Council, it just means that there's three councils come together, and those are the social sciences and humanities. So what we refer to as SHRC, that's SSHRC. If you're in natural science and you're in research world, then you're going to want to know about NSERC. And then if you're in the health realm, then you're going to want the Canadian Institute for Health Research. Okay. But those are the three agencies, so the tripart, under one umbrella of the federal funding. And those awards happen at the master's level and they happen at the doctoral level. Okay. So there are deadlines for the master's, there's deadlines for the doctoral. And then occasionally some of the agencies will have their own call for a specific point and purpose. And so there might be another one that came up. But in this case, for masters, since most of you are masters, you will want to keep December 1st in your brains for our domestic and permanent resident students, as well as refugees. Those are the folks that are eligible for the Tri-Council Masters. I will be holding workshops, etc., as we get closer to that deadline, so in the fall term. For our doctoral students, or this is new this year, the doctoral scholarships are open to international students. So it's open to everyone. The deadline is December 8th, okay? And I will be starting to hold workshops on this later in July and August. And then I'll do some more in September when our students are actually physically here, for those of you who are coming from afar. But if you open up any of these, you'll find out all the information along with links that are important to have. So it'll tell you the deadline, it'll tell you the value, it'll tell you, in this case, how many awards we have in each of those agencies. It'll tell you the eligibility criteria. It'll even link to further information. It'll give you a bit about the application process, if there's information you need to know there. In this case, we also have Indigenous Scholars and the Black Scholars Awards with the tri-agency group, which is also important to know. And then if the agency has any videos or playlists or resources of their own that is important for you to know, we'll also try and link those here. And once I start doing my workshops, yes, we'll put them out via our social media, newslettery mediums, but otherwise I'll also post them here with links. Okay, so even if you just come to this, you should see when and where my workshops are, and if you have to register, or if it's online, or maybe I made a video for us, or all of the above. Okay. Um, so that's the pertinent stuff that we want to know about the awards opportunity. And I'll just pause to see if there's any questions about this award opportunity database to begin with. And in the awkward pause, I'll also open up the doctoral one for our couple of doctoral students. And same deal here. I will be holding workshops, and I will, once confirmed, post them up here. I think the big difference between the doctoral and masters, the masters tri-council has one application for everybody. The doctoral, it's important to realize that each agency still has its own application. We all have the same deadline here. Our internal deadline is October 8th, but they each have their own application. I think for any graduate award, the general rule of thumb, regardless of if it's tri-council or internal, external, doesn't matter. Just keep in mind, the higher the value of the award, the more work you're going to have to put into that baby. Okay. So you're going to need reference letters. You're going to need a research intent or research proposal, transcript, those sorts of things. Okay. So make sure that you're giving yourself a lot of time to gather all that information. Awesome. Now, I'm going to flip back to our internal scholarship application. The deadline annually, and I have a guide on our website here for this. So this is the application that you're going to find in the bridge. So if you log in, you'll see under student, there is an application that brings you to the, what I'll call the scholarship portal, just for the lack of a technical, magical name or anything. I have put together a video that kind of walks you through this. And in this video as well, there's information on writing a proposal, getting references, how you ask for them, what you give your potential reference letter writer, all of that. So regardless, it's not necessarily fully only pertinent to our internal scholarship application. It really has a lot of information that's great for general funding scholarship applications. Okay. There's some screenshots here on where you find the application and how you fill it out. Most of you, the annual deadline is May 15th. It always opens the first week of January. And then for graduate scholarships, it will close May 15th every year. That gives us time to do all the reviews, scoring, and adjudication through the summer so that I could do final awarding of the funds in September. And it kind of walks you through the screenshots on how to use the system and where you're going to look and what you're going to see there. So it does tell you about funding results, which I will admit, you're probably going to receive an email that says you received funding or been offered funding before you will see it change on your dashboard in the system. Just depends on timing. My priority is always to try to get the awards adjudicated and paid out, and then make sure everybody knows about it. Thank you, Emmanuel. That was awesome to share the link. Perfect. So again, we don't have a lot of time. I do fully go into a lot of details in my workshops that'll be coming up. But I want to make sure that everybody has all the power that they have to learn, research, or answer their quick questions on their own. I try and give it to you because I know students are working at any time of day, and you may not be able to get a hold of me or my co-op student, Tenny, at all hours. So this way we're trying to help you when you need it. And then you could follow up with us for sure. What else did I want to go over? Are there any questions right now? I'm just trying to be cognizant of time, so I want to make sure that I cover what I need to cover.
It's not even 8 yet.
Okay,
Nobody,
good.
nobody has questions. Come
Oh,
on. No, I'm kidding.
perfect.
I'm kidding.
Aside from this, I'll just kind of jump back a little bit. You all would have received your offer of admission letters, and in your offer of admission letters, you will have had the extra page that talks about the funding offer that goes with that. So that would have included funding from your supervisor if it's provided. It will offer you any graduate assistantships that your department has offered you. And so those could be employment. And then the University of Lethbridge Graduate Research Award, which is our admission award, if that was offered to you, it would also be in your letter of funding. There is nothing you need to do for that ALGRA, so the University of Lethbridge Graduate Research Award. ALGRA is the short term. Once you register after the ad drop date in September, in January, and then again in May, if you're registered in the program that you're supposed to be registered in, if you're not taking courses, you're registered in your thesis. You're always registered in your thesis. Let me clarify that. You're always registered in your thesis each and every term, all 3 terms. If you're taking courses, that's just added on. It's not an additional course for our program or cost for our program, so that's good. So once I've confirmed your registration, that's when you will see your ALGRA applied to your student account, and it is paid in 3 installments. So whatever your annual amount is in your offer of admission letter, divide that by 3, and that's how much will appear on your student account each term. Okay. If you are successful in receiving internal awards, anything over $5,000 is paid in 2 installments, so fall and winter terms. And then for external funding, so if you're lucky enough to be successful in Tri-Council or Alberta Innovates or anything along those lines, those are paid in 3 installments, once per term, because they're annual awards. I think there's one exception to that. Anybody who is a student who will receive the Alberta Graduate Excellence Scholarship, which is a provincial scholarship, that is paid in a single payment in the fall term. So that'll be a big bonus if you're successful with that. But yeah, I think the biggest thing, since I have the time, I'll go over, great, you found an opportunity you want to apply for. What are the steps now? First of all, look at the deadline. So when do you have to have your application submitted? Look at if there's an internal deadline. So sometimes you're looking at the website from the agency, and the agency may list when the institute has to supply our applications. But what you have to pay attention to is when do you as an individual have to get it to the institution. Sometimes it's the same date. So at the master's level, that Tri-Council award is December 1st, and that's a national deadline to hit submit in their portal. So that's fine. There's no internal deadline. It's just December 1st for everyone across the country. For the doctoral awards, that's different. I have a deadline that we send our nominations to the national committees. That means we have an internal deadline for you, which is October 8th. So that information is in those entries that I showed you in the award opportunity. So always make sure if you find something on your own, come back to the awards opportunity database to see if there is an internal deadline, because I'd hate for you to miss out just because we missed that one little step. The next thing you want to do is look at what is needed for the application. So even before you start writing anything, look to see what it takes to complete your application. Do you have to order transcripts? If you do, how easy is it to get them? Can I do the digital version? So University of Lethbridge has digital under my creds. And in the funding tips website that I showed you, it tells you how to get those. Make sure that they are not locked. So digital transcripts often have passwords or are protected. So you have to make sure that they're unprotected and unlocked. Very key. Otherwise, nobody could look at your transcripts. Do you need reference letters? And if so, how many and from who? So if it's an academic application, make sure that your references are from the academic world. So your supervisor or past supervisor or people from your committee, those sorts of things. And then you want to make sure, here's the key, the best way to get an excellently written reference letter, despite being the marvelous selves that you are, is to provide them with all the information they need to write you that excellent letter. Keep in mind your supervisor or somebody who had you in your undergrad may know you in a very limited way at this point, especially at the start of your program. They may not know what you do outside of the classroom. They may not know what you do for volunteerism. They may not know how you've done in any other class. So it's very important for you to provide them with a copy of your resume or CV, okay, so that you could highlight all the ways that you shine. You want to provide them with your transcripts. It could be working for those guys. You don't have to pay to get fancy transcripts. Just send them a copy or a photocopy or whatever you have. And then you also want to ask in plenty of time before the deadline. The more time you give them, the better your reference letter, guaranteed, because they're not going to rush it. They have the time to think. Remember that faculty members carry a heavy load because they are not just teaching classes, they're doing their research, they are supervising their other graduate students and undergraduate students, they are sitting on committees, they may be working in the academic community elsewhere, like editing a journal. They have a full plate as well. So you want to give them as much time as possible to write the letter, revise the letter, review the letter, and then submit the letter. It will provide you with a much stronger relationship, but it will also provide you with a much stronger reference, okay? When you send them all that stuff, you could ask them first. Secondly, after they say yes, provide them with everything in an email. And in that email body, I highly recommend you're like, hey, here's some highlights. Make life easy for them. Here's some highlights that I think are like strong points for me. They may use them, they may not, but the little summary of bullet points of highlights really helps. Okay. And then you could start writing. Now, oh, Megan.
I have a question, Deirdre. My
Yeah.
supervisor asked me to draft the letter and then send it to them, let them edit it and revise it. Have you heard of that before?
Occasionally, I find that probably happens more at the doctoral level or postdoc level than the master's level. But it does happen occasionally, and that's okay. You could write up a letter. They may or may not use it, but my guess is that is their practice as a way of getting all that information I just told you to tell them for you to tell them. So I think they're just asking for it in a different format. So they may use the letter that you draft, they may not, but I think the most important for them is that they're getting the information that they want. They want to know what you think is important. They want to know what you are doing outside of their site. They want to know all the pertinent information that can help you get the award. Yeah. So don't be shy about it. Just do it. Again, everybody has such vastly different writing styles. I don't think they'll pull the information from the letter you write versus take your letter, sign it, and put it in. So, yeah. Oh yeah. So now you're at the point where you can start writing. So now we're going to look at the actual application. I'm the person who writes the abstract or little blurb at the beginning, last. Oh, Lily has to go to work. No problem, Lily. We will, I'm sure, see you later in the term, in the future. I hope you have a good day at work. Once you start writing, look at the criteria that the application specifies for your research proposal. It may seem weird, but every agency will have their own thing. Is it 1 page that you get to do your research proposal? 2 pages. Find that out sooner the better. Do they have specifics about what font you could use, what size of font, single space, double space, what are the margins? All of that information is going to be in the instructions from the agency, and you do not want to miss those because now you're giving the reviewers an easy way to rank you lower. and they may not have even read your proposal yet. So no matter what, follow every single instruction to the T, exactly as it's laid out, to give yourself the best opportunity of being read, reviewed, and scored high. Those are probably my highlights and the top tips. I have lots of tips, but those are the top tips. But yeah, and then I would encourage you to keep an eye open for our workshops, because I do usually do one that has somebody who has been on a review committee at the national level to help us out and give us tips. I will have workshops for our tri-council crew, exactly how to go through the application. And then for research proposal writing is kind of intertwined into all of those, where I could go into much more detail. And then perhaps we even have time to set up workshops where we could help review or peer review people's proposals. But yeah, so there's lots of services. Please reach out. Know that we're here. Ask questions. Talk to fellow graduate students. Find out what they know. Also a great way to find out about other opportunities. Yeah. And I will leave it there for the next, because we still have tuition. We still have Q&A. Oh, question in the chat.
At our
last funding. Okay. When can we hear back if we have applied for awards? Okay. If it's the internal award system, so those are donor funds, the application that you did that ended in May, we try and get those all done and paid out in September. There's occasionally one or two that we're waiting on, but normally those will all be done and paid out by just after the ad drop deadline, so that you are receiving and knowing the funds beforehand when tuition is due October 1. If it's an external agency, everybody has their own release date. So Master's Tri-Council is April 1st. Doctoral Tri-Council is usually March, April. That one kind of depends on federal budgets, politics, but it's usually around there. That was a good question.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, regarding the University of Lethbridge Graduate Research Award, can someone get it twice? Like you get it at entrance level and get it as a continuing student?
Sorry, which one? The ALGRA, the
Yes.
Graduate Research Award?
Yes.
Yes. So in your admission of offer of admission, your letter will outline how many years the funding is provided to you. So it'll say first year, I'll make up values, $9,000, second year, $6,000. So that's how you know you're going to get it first year and second year if you're master's. If you're doctoral, it'll lay out the 4 years.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Thank you.
So that is the one award that is laid out at the time of admission, and you know how much funding there is each year for you. So you could hopefully have a better sense of your finances and kind of plan that way.
Okay. Yeah. And for someone who did not get the UGRA award, can the person still get it in the second year?
No, because we do that one at the time of admission. The only difference is, I believe Dylan, it'll still lay it out in your offer of admission and funding letter. Dylan, I believe, does the ALGRA in their second year because they have other funding, I think, from the department. I'm not sure how they do it, but I'm pretty sure they get their ALGRA in their second year, but that would also be laid out in the letter of offer that you're provided. And then education for our thesis students, because they declare thesis after admission, then at the point that they declare they want their thesis, that's when they will be offered the ALGRA, and they will outline how much they're getting in each of the years then. So it's only a one-time, it's only awarded once, and at that notification of award, you're told how many years. If you're receiving multiple years, it'll tell you all of the funding at
Oh,
once. So students don't have to do anything to get their second year. It'll be in their letter of offer. And as long as they're registered and continuing the program, it will flow. Yeah. You don't have to reapply. You don't have to do anything for that one.
oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't know if we have any more questions from
Yeah, but if we continue on, I'm still here. So if questions come up, I can answer them for sure.
Okay, sure. So we kind of show some things on tuition. I don't know if Micah is here. Okay. No. So I'll share my screen again. Mm, yeah.
We can see it now.
Okay. So regarding tuition payment, so there's tuition deposit payment, and important deadlines. Regarding tuition payment, this particular website answers a lot of questions, and I will just go right there. So this is the website. I will share the link in the chat later. So on this website, you can kind of get a sense of how much you have to pay for tuition, just graduate fee. So you look at the your faculty. If you're in Masters of Art, like I'm in Master of Arts Economics, you could easily click the link, depending on the faculty you find yourself. So here is kind of an estimate. It's a rough estimate. This is for May 2025. So you can kind of get a rough estimate of how much you have to pay.
Emmanuel, are we supposed to see the web page because we're not seeing that now?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're still seeing your slides.
Oh, okay. Yeah. um, Yeah. Okay. So this is the web page.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Uh, so on this particular website, you can find a lot of information regarding tuition and fees, paying your tuition. So for graduate level, here, depending on your faculty, you can, just click on the link. Like myself, I'm in the Masters of Arts. I can easily click this and it takes you right here, and you get a sense of how much you have to pay. So this is an estimate. So it helped me when I was coming to the University of Lethbridge. I planned, try to plan how much I have left after getting the OGRA scholarship award. Yeah. So also here you can find payment methods. Feel free to look at the link and just go through it. And you can also pay in person at the cash office. And if you are an international student outside of Canada, there's also how you can pay your tuition. And also there's a video attached to this. Um, you can pay using Pay My Tuition and as well Global Pay for students. And fees and updates. So very important, yeah. Payment deadline for the fall term, it's October 1st, winter February 1st, and in summer June 1st. So these are important deadlines. Please take note of them. And there's some kind of fee attached if you don't pay at this particular date. Yeah, so also note that there's non-refundable tuition deposits, which I believe you must have paid at this time. And so just this one link, I'm going to put that on the chat so you can take a look at it. Everything you need to know concerning tuition payment is there. So I'm just going to put it. Okay. Yeah. So that is it about tuition payment, tuition and fee. If you have any more question, we are happy to help. And I said that I'm going to share a little bit of what I know concerning funding. So the bridge is another good platform to look at things relating to funding. Yeah, if you go to your bridge and the link I provided earlier, Deidre talked about it. You can look at that video. There's a whole lot of information regarding how to apply for scholarship on your bridge. If you just watch that video, the link is on the chat. And it's once you do the general, this general application, based off your general application and graduate award, it's going to kind of filter you down to import specific scholarship relating to you. So it's a very important resource to look at. Please take a look at the link. And um, there are also important things I think you should know. A lot of funding is paid up of your CGPA. So please come into the University of Lethbridge. Um, please go to school and get that great CGPA because some of them I think is 3.5 cutoff and some is 3.0, 3.2 depending. There's some that's up to I think 3.8. Yeah, I looked at something at 3.8. Well, so you might want to have a good CGPA to be able to, qualify for some funding. And also for graduate level, please try as much as possible to go for conferences. If you have papers, please submit for conference. And that's actually help boost your chances of getting funding as well. Talk to your supervisor. My supervisor have been so helpful, pointing conferences I could attend to. I can, submit my papers and present. That's exposes you, get you connected to other people, not just funding, using it for funding. And talk to other graduate students who are writing papers. You can actually co-author papers together. That's one of the things, you could, do to boost your chances of getting, funding. So all these things put together and also get involved. Volunteer, that's another thing. Leadership. Here at the University of Lethbridge, there's a lot of opportunities for volunteering. Yeah, at the International Student Center, you can, yeah, be looking for volunteers and other departments and join clubs. So get yourself involved. These are part of the things, when you put them together, it gives you chances. It's kind of increase the chance of you getting funding. Yeah, so that is it.
I guess one last point we should make, any of your tuition and funding information, make sure you keep a copy of your letter of, oh, Deirdre, no, I'm confused. Letter of offer. That will have all of the information in it. It's so, so important you keep a copy of that for your entire program because that is the information that will be for your entire program. And I believe that will have your tuition, that will have all of your um, entrance funding, and then you can apply for more after that.
Yeah.
I just threw 2 links because Emmanuel mentioned travel for conferences. So 2 links for just that. If you're going to a conference, there's opportunities there. The Research Dissemination Travel Award, it's in that opportunity database, so you can find it again. That's for when you're in the second half of your program and you're presenting your research. And then the Graduate Student Association also has a travel award that you could use at any time in your program. They don't restrict it. So also good to know. It's also good to know that your Graduate Student Association has their own awards as well. So be sure to check that out as well.
I'm going to stop recording so that if anybody has any questions, it isn't recorded. But for anybody who's watching the recording in the future, thank you so much for watching and reach out if you have any questions. Let me figure out where the stop. Oh, there it is.